Von Hagen Auction House.
그래서 이렇게 큰일을 왜 이제야 말해주는 거예요?
죄송합니다. 신우들인데 그게...
As you step into the auction house, you hear Marius scolding an employee. Since you've dealt with him before, you know he dislikes interruptions while working. You stay at a distance and wait. The employee stammers, unable to finish a sentence. Marius glances at you out of the corner of his eye and waves the employee into the back row. Once the employee disappears, Marius walks over to you.
오늘은 어떤 일로 왔어요?
I'm here to inquire about the theft case reported by the auction house.
역시 그럴 줄 알았어요.
What did you lose?
홍옥주요.
You've heard rumors about the Crimson Jade Pearl and how it's closely connected to the Von Hagen family's ability to wield the power of the Tao Tie. Legend has it that the Von Hagen family possesses a Crimson Jade Pearl passed down through generations, which can subdue monsters. Otherwise, how could a mere human control the Tao Tie? The Von Hagen family rose to prominence thanks to the power of Tao Tie, gaining countless benefits. Many were envious of their success, and naturally, there were quite a few who wanted to get their hands on the Crimson Jade Pearl. You don't really believe such a miraculous treasure exists, but if it does, its disappearance is bound to cause a stir. Don't worry, the Omni-Spirits Bureau will help track down the Crimson Jade Pearl. Tell me what clues you've got.
아니요. 홍옥주보다 지금 더 중요한 일이 있어요.
What? Marius glances in the direction where the staff member just left.
아까 그 사람 지은수라고 하는데 우리 쪽에서 경매품 입고를 담당하는 직원이에요. 홍옥주가 도난당한 뒤에 부하인 도연수를 보냈는데 벌써 일주일이 다 되어가도록 아직 돌아오지 않고 있어요. 아까 그 직원이 말해줬는데 도연수를 마지막으로 봤을 때 들판 쪽으로 걸어가고 있었대요.
Are you suspecting that he has gotten lost in the wilderness?
요력이 워낙 강해서 삼켜진 숨결이 큰 영향을 주진 않을 테지만 혹시 무슨 일이 생긴 건 아닐지 걱정돼요.
Marius lets out a sigh and tiredly rubs his temples.
사람을 보내서 수색하고 싶지만 일이 예사롭지 않아서 만년국의 도움을 받는 게 좋을 것 같아요. 보안이 국장님이 날 도와주라고 보낸 거죠?
I am indeed putting together a field exploration team. He leans in closer to you and points to himself.
팀원이 바로 눈앞에 있네요. 도철의 힘을 쓸 수 있으니까 분명 도움이 될 거예요. 같이 한번 해볼래요?
He's right, you do need a strong ally. Meeting his gaze, you nod. He smiles, looking quite pleased with himself.
일 정리하고 바로 출발하죠.
Yes, these days are really... What's the matter? It's nothing major. I just saw a young man injured by a Kui when I went to the Omni-Spirits Bureau earlier. Injured by a Kui? What happened? Is it serious? Don't worry, it's not that serious. I heard that young man hired a Kui near the Imperial City just to make sure he'd wake up on time for work. He asked the Kui to wake him up with an electronic shock at 6 a.m. sharp every morning. Would that even work? Obviously, it was completely useless. He was sleeping way too soundly. Even with the Kui's lightning technique nearly frying his arm off, he still didn't wake up until noon. Look, he ended up getting taken to the Omni-Spirits Bureau for treatment. Once he recovered, they'll probably also hold him accountable for bringing back a Kui who hasn't even registered in Hatcher City. I hope he'll remember this lesson. Tell me about it. Imperial City Streets. As you pass through the wilderness, a small monster happily barks at you a few times. Wow, Marius, it's so cute! Indeed, little one, what brings you here? You both crouch down in front of the little monster. Marius amused gently tickles its chin with his knuckle. The little monster chips cheerfully and flashes you a smile. Oh, it says that since it knows we're looking for clues in the area, it can help us out. But it also wants us to do it a favor. A favor? Yeah, it seems like it wants to become a firefighter in a human settlement. Let's help see if it's qualified. A firefighter. For ordinary humans, being a firefighter isn't easy, but for a monster with special abilities, maybe. You start thinking through the qualities of firefighter needs and begin to examine the little monster more carefully. After getting your approval, the Fushan beams with joy, wagging his tail vigorously before bouncing off excitedly. Marius looks in the direction it runs off to, then looks back at you with a nod. We should be going that way, I suppose. The concentration of miasma in that area doesn't seem particularly high. Alright, let's go over there and give it a try. Thank you so much, Fushan. The Fushan happily calls out to you a couple of times. After bidding Fushan farewell, you continue on your journey. Imperial City Street. All done. Beyond Hatsu City, the engulfing brass erosion worsens. Outside the suburbs, many weakened and mindless small monsters wander about, already consumed by it. Along the way, Marius uses teleportation arrays to send the small monsters he encounters back to the city. When he rescues the 10th of one of the day, he finally can't help but frown. Who would have thought we'd run into so many monsters affected by the engulfing breath on one trip? Looks like this isn't a simple matter. Why do I suddenly feel like I'm carrying such a heavy responsibility? It's your first team exploration. Though things go relatively smoothly, it doesn't mean you feel no pressure at all. Still, now that you've experienced it for yourself, things should go more smoothly the next time you go out exploring. Of course, I have at least that much confidence. Now then, let's head back home. Okay, wait, Marius, what's that all over you? All over me? Isn't this engulfing breath? When did it get here? Marius frowns and pats himself down, but the engulfing breath clings to him like smoke, refusing to dissipate. This is troublesome. Marius, is something wrong? I'm fine, just need to figure out how to get rid of the engulfing breath. Get rid of it. After a moment of thought, you gently place your hand where Marius has been touched by the engulfing breath. As the power grows stronger, the bluebird's energy flows from your palm into Marius. In an instant, the engulfing breath under your touch significantly fades. Looks like this should work. Stand still, and I'll try to remove the remaining engulfing breath from you.
좀 서늘하네. 이게 삼켜진 숨결을 정화하는 느낌인가요? 난 괜찮아요. 아마 삼켜진 숨결의 영향을 받아서 잠깐 숨쉬기가 좀 힘들었던 것 같아요. 음, 아까 좀 머리가 아팠는데 지금은 훨씬 나아졌어요. 한결 나아졌어요. 수고했어요.
After a few attempts, the engulfing breath that clings to Marius completely dissipates. He examines himself in surprise from head to toe, then gives you a look of genuine astonishment. Wow, I had no idea you were so strong. As long as it works, we're fine for now. Let's get out of here first. You've just recovered, so it's best to avoid areas contaminated by engulfing breath for now. Okay, let's go. Imperial City. At the entrance of the Imperial City, you spread out a mat in front of Marius. He crosses his arms, watching you with a trace of confusion.
말령국은 이런 옛날 방법으로 길을 찾아요?
Hold on, this isn't just any ordinary map. Look. As the map fully unfolds, a streak of electric light flashes across the surface, and a 3D model of the Imperial City appears vividly on the paper. Bright dots flash in certain corners of the map, marking the information you're looking for. You point to the nearest one. This is where other agents have recorded finding fragments of cursed bones recently. Marius looks surprised and then frowns.
이렇게나 많다고요?
Yes, it's because the number of monsters who have lost control has far exceeded the average lately. That's why the Bureau is taking it so seriously.
왜 이걸 보여주는 거예요?
Since Dao Shou has gone missing in the wild, we have to prepare for the worst, so I want to first confirm. Before you can finish, Marius shakes his head.
가물성에도 삼켜진 숨결이 있긴 하지만 그렇게 많진 않아서 웬만한 요괴라면 버틸 수 있어요. 도연수의 능력으로는 여기서 폭주할 리가 없어요.
Marius reaches out and rolls up the map. The electric light fades and the map falls neatly in his hands. He gives the map a light shake and the paper makes a soft rustling sound.
그리고 이렇게 하나하나 찾다 보면 얼마나 걸릴지 모르잖아요. 말령국에 다른 보물은 또 없어요?
You snatch the map from his hands. Marius stops teasing, now watching you with interest. Even if there were any, I couldn't possibly take them all with me. What about you? Everyone in Hatsu City knows that the Von Hagen family is as rich as a nation. What treasure did you bring, Master Marius? As everyone knows, the Tao Te is the embodiment of desire, and its nature compels to seek out all precious treasures in the world. Thanks to this, the Von Hagen family obtained the initial capital to establish their auction house, gradually growing into the powerhouse they are today.
정확히 맞췄네요. 정말 좋은 걸 하나 가져왔거든요.
What is it? Like a magic trick, a compass suddenly appears before your eyes. You stare at Marius in confusion.
아, 뭐라고 할지 알겠는데 이건 평범한 나침반이 아니에요.
Marius takes out a sachet containing a pinch of yellow animal fur.
도연수의 원래 모습은 호랑이 닮은 요괴거든요. 사람을 시켜서 그 방에서 털 몇 가닥을 챙겨왔죠. 그래서 이렇게만 하면
Marius places the fur into the compass spoon. A small yellow flame flares up and vanishes. The compass swings rapidly before settling in a direction.
이 나침반이면 누구든 찾을 수 있거든요. 이 방향은 어디로 이어질까요?
You don't need to check the map. Every agent is required to memorize the layout of the 4 wilderness zones during the training. Without hesitation, you answer. the Jade Quarry.
그렇다면 이미 더 깊은 곳으로 가버렸다는 거네요?
It gets more dangerous the further out we go. Let's hurry over and check it out. You follow the direction indicated by the compass. After passing through a narrow alley, you hear strange noises up ahead. Short rhythmic tapping echoes through the abandoned city. You and Marius exchange glances and then turn a corner one after the other. Plaza. A spacious plaza comes into view, but years of neglect have left it in disrepair. Some pillars have collapsed and dust covers the decorations. However, a group of monsters are tightly gripping their hooves, digging up something. Their faces are blank, eyes vacant, and yet their movements remain methodical and uninterrupted. You and Marius walk up to the group of monsters, but they don't look up, continue digging as if you don't exist. Excuse me? Just as you speak, Marius tugs at your sleeve. You follow his gaze and notice that the compass has stopped working. The ladle is spinning rapidly, pointing toward every single monster present. Marius checks them carefully but finds no sign of Daosho. He puts the compass away, watches the demons warily, and then shifts to stand statically in front of you.
여기서 뭐 하는 거지?
The monsters neither answer nor stop digging. Marius frowns and flicks his fingers. One demon's hoe flies out of his hands.
보물찾기 멈출 수 없어.
The monster mutters under its breath, ignores Marius entirely, and quickly picks the hoe back up. Marius stares at the monster for a long time, his expression turning grim.
나 저 요괴들을 알아요.
What?
유씨 경매장에 소장품을 제공한 적 있어요. 각자 보물 찾는 노하우가 있을 거예요. 근데 지금 자신들의 의지로 보물을 찾고 있는 게 아니라 누군가 강제로 시켜서 저러는 거예요.
That explains it. No wonder they seem so strange.
네, 인간이 요력을 사용하려면 요괴와 어떤 연결이 있어야 해요. 누나가 파랑새의 선물에서 비롯된 요력을 가진 것처럼 유씨 가문도 도철과 거래를 한 거예요.
A deal? This is the first time you're hearing Marius personally explain the source of the Taoti's power. However, why would one of the four great evil beasts willingly make a deal with the von Hagen family? You move your lips but hold back your questions, knowing that now isn't the right time. Seeing that you see nothing, Marius continues.
물론 그 외에도 드러내기 힘든 수단이 많은데 이 요괴들은 강제로 계약을 맺었을 거예요. 강제로 조종당하면서 자아를 잃고 지금처럼 변해버린 거죠.
Power surges from Marius' palm as he presses down with his hand. In an instant, all the demons freeze in place.
지금은 일단 얌전히 만들어뒀어요.
Using your bluebird power, you examine the monsters and discover that they are all affected by the engulfing breath to some degree. You purify them, stabilizing the situation for the time being. They must have been in the Imperial City for quite a while now, yet they haven't taken any protective measures. If we leave them alone, they might go berserk. I'll contact the Omni-Spirits Bureau to take them back. Is there any way to restore them? Marius lowers his gaze, a look of regret on his face.
계약이 이미 성사되어서 구하려면 배후의 인물을 찾아내는 수밖에 없어요.
The mastermind behind this. Alright, these monsters are treasure hunting. Could there really be some precious treasure here?
아니요. 만약 있었다면 벌써 알아챘을 거예요. 보물찾기에는 유씨 가문을 따라올 사람이 없다는 거 알잖아요.
Marius lets out a soft laugh. Though the words are full of pride, there's a faint trace of loneliness in his voice. He pauses briefly and then quickly raises his hand and gestures around.
그렇긴 하지만 우리 주변에서 다른 단서가 있는지 찾아볼까요?
Okay. After searching, you find nothing except a few shattered curse bones in the corner.
보아하니 아까 그 무리뿐만 아니라 다른 요괴들도 강제로 조종당했던 것 같아요. 이 근처에 오래 머문 약한 요괴들은 이미 삼켜진 숨결로 변해버렸고요.
In that case, you open the map. As suspected, a red dot blinks at the plaza's location. Could these monsters be going berserk in the wild because someone is controlling them?
일단 가서 확인해보죠.
Small courtyard. The nearest red dot is in a small courtyard nearby. There's an old lock on the door, but Marius opens it with ease. The door creaks as Marius steps in first. After confirming it's safe, he nods at you.
이리 와요.
You soon find more shattered curse bones. There are also traces of digging in the courtyard.
예상했던 대로네요. 우리가 발견한 요괴들 말고도 피해자가 꽤 있었나 봐요.
Do you think Dao Xiu is among them? Marius doesn't reply, but his expression makes it clear he agrees.
아까 나침반이 이상하게 작동을 안 했거든요. 도연수도 그 요괴들처럼 배후에 있던 자의 기운이 남아있어서 그런 것 같아요.
Let's head deeper into investigate. On one hand, we can continue tracking Dao Xiu's whereabouts. On the other hand, I'll suspect the person behind all this won't be content with treasure hunting in just the Imperial City.
근데 오늘은
Marius looks up at the sky.
벌써 해가 지고 있어서요. 하퍼시로 돌아가면 직업센터도 도와야 하고요. 무작정 찾아다니는 건 좋은 방법이 아니니까 일단 돌아가서 대책을 세워보죠.
Okay. Marius, did I just hear someone calling for help over there? Oh, about that. No need to rush. Let's take our time. Huh, what's that? Do you know what's going on with that person? I guess so. That guy's a well-known troublemaker in Hatsu City. Every time he had a fight with his family, he would run away from home, go on a hunger strike in protest, and even tie himself up. But to avoid actually encountering dangerous beasts in the wild or actually starving to death, he would always cry out for help when Omni-Spirits bureau agents were patrolling outside, making sure he'd get rescued. This seems like a waste of public resources. But as agents of the Omni-Spirits Bureau, you are responsible for the safety of Hatsu City's citizens. You can't just ignore him. Yeah, I should report this to my superiors next time and see if there are any countermeasures. Let's go and carry out the rescue operation for today. Indeed. Then let's go. Jade Quarry. The engulfing breath is thick here. I wonder where the exit is. Huh, that monster over there seems to have been there for quite a long while. Drawing from your previous experience, you quickly step forward to ask questions. Excuse me, can you... Huh. Before you can finish your question, the monster grumbles impatiently and flicks its tail to one side. It must get asked for directions by passing humans and monsters a lot, but I'll try heading this way anyway. Thank you, we'll be taking our leave now. Jade Quarry. Why do we always end up getting covered in this stuff whenever we investigate here? Perhaps Perhaps the effects of the engulfing breath have worsened. Fortunately, the contamination isn't too severe this time. You sigh as you see Marius surrounded by the engulfing breath once again. Anyway, let me help you remove the engulfing breath first. Thankfully, thanks to the previous experience, he isn't badly contaminated this time. You roll up your sleeves and study him. I'll leave it to you then.
잠깐만요. 그러니까 갑자기 가까이 와서 준비가 안 됐달까요? 자, 이제 완전히 회복했어요. 고마워요.
There isn't much engulfing breath this time, and it clears up quickly. Marius flexes his joints, seeing that the previously infected area hasn't suffered much damage. He breathes a sigh of relief. Looks good. I should be completely cured. Shirara, seeing how capable you are, I really want to offer you a hefty sum to be my personal purifier. I should focus on Dao Show and the Crimson Jade Pearl for now. I can hardly say I'm worth a fortune at my current level. Of course, you are. If I see it's worth it, then it definitely is. But you do have a point. Marius looks up at the sky. The case with the Dao Show and the Crimson Jade Pearl seems to be getting more complicated. Let's head back and figure out what to do next. Okay. Von Hagen Auction House.
이번 경매의 마지막 소장품은 한 신비한 수집가가 제공한 고대 시기의 옥 한 쌍으로 경매 시작가는 3억입니다.
As soon as the auctioneer finishes speaking, bids starts rising one after another. Meanwhile, you and Marius stay in the cubicle where you play the role of the mysterious collector mentioned by the auctioneer. This pair of jade artifacts isn't provided by any so-called mysterious collector. They come from Marius' private collection, circulated through the auction house with your help. You adjust the jewel-encrusted hat on your head, staring at Marius with skepticism. Marius, are you really not teasing me? Being a mysterious collector doesn't mean I have to dress so extravagantly.
잠깐, 놀리지 마요. 거짓말이 아니라 그동안 만났던 수집가들은 다 특징이 있었단 말이에요. 그리고 튀지 않으면 어떻게 배우의 인물이 누나를 알아보겠어요?
As he speaks, Marius reaches out and adjusts your head, making it feel a bit lighter on your head.
우리 계획 기억하죠?
Of course. That day, after you escorted the monsters that you'd encountered in the Imperial City back to the Omni-Spirits Bureau and dealt with all the minor matters. Omni-Spirits Bureau. Marius sits in the Omni-Spirits Bureau's lobby waiting for you. From a distance, you wave at him.
다 처리했어요?
Yeah, the Bureau will take care of them, but they haven't regained consciousness yet. The compass Marius placed on the table is still pointing toward the Jade Quarry. Marius has been fiddling with the compass needle for a while now. Did you think of any leads?
지금 확실한 건 배후에 있는 사람이 보물을 찾는 능력이 필요하다는 것과 경매장이랑 관련이 있다는 거예요. 어쩌면 내부 사람일 가능성이 높아요.
Because all those monsters he controlled were once sellers at the auction house.
맞아요. 보통은 판매자의 개인 정보를 보호하는데 배후의 인물이 그 요괴들의 정보를 입수했더라고요.
There are quite a few auction house staff members. How are we going to find that person? Marius strokes his chin and quickly smiles as if something has just occurred to him.
유인해서 끄집어내야겠죠?
You come back to your senses while the sounds of people placing bets are still sounding all around you. After finalizing the complete plan, Marius enters your forged identity for information into the house's system, but the person behind the scenes remains silent. You look at Marius uneasily. But will this really work?
누나는 전에 여기서 얼굴 비친 적이 없으니까 아마 오늘 정체를 확인해 보려고 할 거예요. 그리고 갑자기 고대의 옥을 가지고 나타났으니 그쪽에서 분명 관심을 보일 거예요. 경매만 끝나면 내가 업계에 소문을 낼 테니 그쪽도 가만히 있진 않겠죠.
There's a knock at the door. You exchange glances with him, and then takes a seat on a chair farther away, assuming the posture of a mysterious collector.
들어와요.
The door opens. Is Zeshui the employee Marius scolded at the auction house last time? Since you were standing far away then, Zeshui didn't really see you and still doesn't know your true identity. He walks in carrying a tray and places the tea in front of you.
도련님께서 귀한 손님을 접대 중이라고 하던데 혹시 선생님이 그 신비한 수집가이신가요?
You adjust your head to cover half your face, giving no reply. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Marius looking pleased with your reaction, even smiling a little to himself. Zeshui seems used to this kind of situation and doesn't question, simply bowing slightly. Marius puts on a more serious expression and waves his hand.
은수 씨, 먼저 나가봐요. 이분이랑 할 얘기가 있으니까 다른 사람들은 들어오지 못하게 해요.
네.
Zeshui leaves with the tree. Marius watches his retreating back in silence for a moment. What are you looking at?
별거 아니에요. 이쪽 일은 거의 끝났으니까 채석장으로 출발할까요?
Jade Quarry. After giving a few brief instructions, he heads to the Jade Quarry with you. You breathe a sigh of relief, take off the hat, and hand it back to him. Finally, made it out. Here, this hat's yours. It's way too heavy.
모자가 좀 화려하긴 하죠. 다음엔 더 어울리는 걸로 골라줄게요. 꽃비녀는 어때요?
He fiddles with the gem on the head and glances at your hair, seemingly picturing the flower ornament on it. You wave a hand in front of him, snapping him out of his thoughts. Let's get back to business. Everyone at the auction house probably saw us living together.
네. 나도 방금 소문을 퍼뜨렸으니까 이제 기다리기만 하면 돼요. 누군가 누나를 해칠지도 모르니까 내 곁에서 떨어지지 마요.
Don't worry, I can take care of myself. Marius looked concerned.
누나를 미끼로 삼자고 한 건 나잖아요. 그러니 누나의 안전은 나한테 중요하죠.
Since you've known him, it's rare to see him this serious, so you nod. Got it, I'll be careful. He takes out the compass again. The needle rotates slowly before settling in a direction.
가요.
You don't find any trace of Dao Shou along the way, but after walking for a while, you spot a wooden cabin ahead. As if sensing something, Marius suddenly stops walking and his expression shifts. Oh, what's the matter?
홍옥주가 안에 있어요.
You look at him in surprise. With the power of the Tao Te in him, his senses should be accurate. He pulls you closer and the two of you hide in the shadows, keeping your eyes on the cabin.
아무도 없는 것 같네요.
Is the rumor about the Crimson Jade Pearl true?
반은 맞고 반은 틀려요. 요괴를 속박할 수 있는 건 사실이지만 그렇게 신비로운 건 아니에요. 그저 고대 때부터 전해 내려온 보물일 뿐이죠. 그때 쟁이라는 대요괴가 난동을 부렸는데 사람들이 홍옥주의 힘을 빌려 처치했다고 해요. 워낙 오래된 전설이라 쟁이 정말 봉인된 건지 아는 사람은 아무도 없어요. 내 경험상 그런 대요괴한테는 홍옥주가 소용없어요.
No one has heard anything about Zheng for so many years. Perhaps the people back then found another way to surprise and eliminate him. A gust of wind blows, making the wooden door creak until it swings open with a groan. You can feel Marius completely tense up. He stops speaking, alert and ready to react to anything. But the cabin stays quiet. The old door stands wide open as if waiting for someone to step in. After a brief pause, he takes the first step forward.
들어가 봐요.
Abandoned cabin. After confirming that no one's inside, he gestures for you to follow. The furniture is worn, but there are clear signs of life. The fireplace is out, but there is a lingering trace of warmth. They shouldn't have gone far. Should we go after them?
잠깐만요.
Marius walks straight to the nearby shelf. There's a locked wooden box on it. He picks it up and gives it a shake, and you hear a faint rattle from within.
역시 홍옥주네요.
Could it be that he left in such a hurry that he didn't have time to take the Crimson Jet Ball with him? No. Almost as soon as the words leave your mouth, you sense that something's off. The room shows no signs of disorder. The fireplace was even extinguished before he left. That makes the Crimson Jet Ball seem more like something he deliberately left behind. Oh no, we've fallen into their trap.
여기서 나가죠.
Suddenly, the box in Marius' hand starts shaking violently.
진짜
With a loud click, the lid springs open. The Crimson Jet Ball shoots out from Marius' hand, flickering eerily in midair. A power-binding force holds you in place. The cabin shakes hard, the floor splits open, and beneath it lies only empty space. For some reason, Marius freezes for a moment, and you begin to fall. You instinctively call out his name. Marius? Panic rushes through you. The weightlessness, the loss of control, you hear Marius shouting your name. Out of the corner of your eye, you see his hand reaching down, trying to grab you. Then everything turns dark. This hexagonal blue crystal looks really unique. Is this also from the Beast Cave? Probably not. If I remember correctly, it was spat out by a creature called Crystal Pixie. Spat out? Yeah, after all, there are monsters with limited stomach capacity. When the crystal Pixie devours too many treasures, it has no choice but to spit out what it can't swallow. Does the Taotie occasionally spit out gold coin it can't digest? Hard to say, but miss, if you're short on money, I can withdraw some treasure from my account for you right away. That's not what I meant. I was just curious. Haha, I'm just joking. Beast Cave. Marius, look, quick. What's... Whoa. While searching for clues to the right path to take, a giant bird monster hovering in mid-air catches your attention. It is surrounded by blazing flames and seems to possess extremely sharp hearing. The few words you exchange with Marius are enough to attract its gaze, crackling with electrical sparks. Be careful, step back. As the giant bird flaps its wings and glides towards you, Marius quietly steps in front of you. However, the bird monster appears to bear no ill will. It lands just a few steps away and lets out two soft cries. What's it saying? It seems like it wants to go to human settlements to find its own territory. And they say it can provide energy for mankind. Providing energy in exchange for territory. Setting aside the energy issue, is it really okay for this bird monster to live among humans? You study the bird monster carefully, deep in thought. For humans, the flames and electrical sparks surrounding the flesh sparrow are extremely dangerous. As if expecting this response, the flesh sparrow chirps softly and doesn't press the matter. With a flap of its wings stirring a gust of hot air, it flies off into the distance. The blazing light it leaves behind happens to illuminate the path ahead. I didn't expect it to be so honorable. It still showed us the way even though it didn't make the cut. True, we should thank it properly if we get the chance. Fortunately, you managed to figure out the route through this area and quickly resume your journey. Beast Cave. I'm all alone again. After the unexpected separation, Marius roams around the mine, looking for a way into the crevice. But the deeper into the darkness he goes, the more the engulfing breath corrodes him. This is bad. Suffocating pressure and searing pain tug at him with every step. Still, Marius forces himself forward, unwilling to stop searching. Chara, where are you? In his daze, a cool sensation brushes against the wound. He soothes the pain for a moment. This is... Somehow, his wounds begin to heal, just like how you'd purify him earlier.
날 치료하고 있어요? 누나 손이 좀 차가운 것 같아요. 이제 훨씬 나아졌어요. 고마워요, 누나. 내가 지금 바로 찾아갈게요.
As if your thoughts reach him, the wounds inflicted by the engulfing breath mostly heal. Finally, regaining the strength to move on, Marius doesn't wait for the engulfing breath to fully dissipate. He rises and sets off once more. We need to regroup quickly. We can't delay any longer. Daosho, the Crimson Jade Pearl, and it's time to put an end to this. You tumble down the slope, sliding deeper underground. After what feels like a long time, the slope levels out. Fortunately, there aren't many loose rocks on the slope, so the fall only leaves some minor scrapes on your back, nothing serious. However, you are still bound by the Crimson Jade Pearl and can't move for now. I need to find a way to break free from these restraints. A loud crash comes from behind, followed by what sounds like a collapse above. With rocks tumbling down, the slope is probably completely blocked now. Marius. You've lost contact and don't know how Marius and the others are doing up there. This appears to be an underground cave. The Crimson Jade Pearl is still floating in the air not far from you, emitting a dim red glow. With the help of the crimson light, you see several stone beds in the cave. Shadows cast down from them, and you have no idea who is lying there. Is there someone else here beside me? Suddenly, someone grabs your wrist from behind. You are startled but then feel the grip slightly loosen.
나예요. 무서워하지 마요.
Marius helps you up and lets you lean against the wall. His left arm hangs limp, with blood soaking through his sleeve and dripping from his fingertips. Are you hurt?
너무 급하게 오느라 돌을 못 봤어요. 살짝 다쳤는데 괜찮아요. 지금은 이런 얘기할 때가 아니에요. 배우가 근처에 있다는 게 느껴져요. 내 말 좀 들어봐요. 속박은 거의 다 풀었는데 홍옥주에 뭔가 금제가 걸려 있는 것 같아요. 시간을 좀 벌어줄래요? 날 믿어요. 누나한테 절대 아무 일도 없게 할게요.
Footsteps echo from deep within the cave, but Marius remains motionless. He still wants to use the remaining time to break the seal on the crimson jade pearl. You take a deep breath and softly call out his name. Marius. I trust you, so you should trust me too. I can handle this.
알겠어요.
He gives you a deep look before retreating into the shadows. The moment Marius' shadow vanishes, a figure emerges from the depths of the cave. Is you? When you see the figure of the person who arrives, you can't help but gasp. It's Zeshui.
저예요, 수집가님. 또 만났네요.
Zeshui's usual timid demeanor has completely changed, and you instantly understand everything that has happened. As an employee in charge of auction item inventory, he naturally has access to seller information. More importantly, he has the opportunity to search for the Crimson Jade Pearl's whereabouts. He was also the one who informed Marius about Dao Shu's disappearance, but why would he do that? So, when you came to serve tea, it was to test me.
맞아요. 어쨌든 저와 협력할 자격이 있는지 확인해봐야 했으니까요.
You call this a cooperation? The sudden suffocation forces you to stop questioning. The show's usual timid demeanor changes completely as his gaze turns ice cold. A particularly chaotic demonic energy emanates from his body, traces left behind by the monsters he has forcefully controlled. And his human body is clearly reaching its limit. If left unchecked, he will surely meet his doom, but those innocent monsters will also be dragged into it.
특수한 방법을 써서 모시게 된 점 부디 너그러이 양해해 주시길 바랍니다.
What are you trying to pull here? Zeshui raises his hand and the crimson jade pearl drops into his palm as he lets out a cold laugh.
보물 찾는 걸 도와주셨으면 해요.
Are you planning on making me like the other monsters who are forced to serve?
그 말은 좀 그렇네요. 만약 그 요괴들이 협조했다면 그렇게 되지 않았겠죠?
Zeshui shrugs indifferently, showing no remorse. Realizing that pressing further may provoke him, you change the subject. Why are you so fixated on finding treasure? Is there something valuable you want to get?
그렇게 많은 걸 알아내서 뭐 하시게요?
If we're going to work together, you'll need to give me a reason. Zeshu toys with the crimson jade pearl and stares at you with suspicion. He only speaks indifferently once he decides you pose no threat.
금은보화를 누가 싫어하겠어요? 유씨 가문에 없는 물건이라면 다 갖고 싶어요.
The Von Hagen family? What grudge does Zeshui have against the Von Hagen family?
이쯤하고 어서 계약서에 서명하시죠.
Zeshui crouches down and waves his hand in front of you, revealing a blood-red contract that unfurls before your eyes. How can I sign if you won't let go of me?
상관없어요.
Zeshui clearly doesn't trust you. He reaches out his hand, seemingly about to extract your thoughts directly. A rustling sound comes from nearby. Zeshui is too focused to notice, but you realize Marius is starting to lose his patience. The Crimson Jade Pearl's grip on you grows weaker. You believe you'll be able to break free soon. No, if Marius shows up now, all our efforts will be wasted. Wait. You shout suddenly. Zeshui freezes, his hand coming to a stop mid-air. The noise from Marius' direction vanishes, and you quietly let out a sigh of relief. Zeshui, stop it. You'll regret this.
그래요? 요괴들도 다 그랬는데 지금 생각해보니까 정말 웃기지도 않네요. 실례할게요.
A sharp pain pierces your temples, but Zeshui fails to extract your thoughts as intended.
말도 안 돼. 대체...
At this moment, the restraints come completely undone. You gather the power of the bluebird and strike heavily at Zeshui. Despite being pushed back, he quickly recovers. With a wave of his hand, his demonic power transforms into a blade and strikes towards you. A barrier unfolds before you as Marius appears behind you.
괜찮아요?
요괴가 아니었어?
Marius and Zeshui speak almost at the same time. You shake your head at Marius and then turn to look at Zeshui. Told you you'd regret it.
지은수, 순순히 자수하는 게 좋을 거야.
Anger flickers on Marius' face, but he takes a deep breath and forces himself to stay calm. In that instant, you understand the heavy stillness you felt before your fall. Marius was restraining himself back then, too. Zeshui lets out a cold snort.
꿈도 꾸지 마.
Zeshui quickly steps back. As he moves, the shadow on the stone bed sits up stiffly. Oh no, they're all monsters being controlled against their will. The monster rise to their feet. Leading them is a tiger-like creature shrouded in thick spiritual energy.
도연수.
Dao Shou has completely lost his mind. His anguished screeches echo through the cave, and then he charges straight at you.
조심해요!
Marius pulls you out of the way, but the monster begins attacking one after another. Since you don't want to harm them, you focus on defending against them, waiting for an opening to restrain them. Though there are monsters are under his control, Dao Shou is particularly fierce in battle. You two are unable to subdue him at the moment. Marius pulls you into a recess in the cave to hide temporarily. Marius rests his hand on your shoulder and you feel him trembling slightly. He quickly releases you and peeks out to check the situation. By the time he returns, the emotion you sensed earlier is gone.
도연수는 한번 싸우기 시작하면 절대 물러서지 않아요. 내가 먼저 유인할 테니 뒤에서 제압할 방법을 생각해줘요.
Marius, You grab his arm, but when you meet his eyes, you realize this is the only option. Be careful. Marius nods and heads out. As suspected, Dao Shou immediately attacks. He hits the wall, causing the priest to tumble down, and you dodge to the side. Marius takes the initiative, constantly provoking Dao Shou to attack him head-on. Dao Shou gradually falls for his taunts and fails to notice you. You move along the wall, hiding yourself behind the overturned cabinet. Now's the time. The moment Dao Shou raises his hand to launch another frontal strike at Marius, you lunge forward, spreading the power of the bluebird like a net to restrain him. Marius strikes the back of his neck hard. Daosho freezes and falls forward. Finally, I'll contact the Omni-Spirits Bureau to pick them up.
네. 우리도 잠깐 쉬었다가 지은수를 찾으러 가죠.
How are we going to find him? Marius looks around, seemingly having pinpointed a direction.
지금 여긴 비우글 광산이에요. 구조가 워낙 복잡해서 막 돌아다니면 길을 잃을 거예요. 다행히 지은수가 홍옥주를 가지고 있어서 대략적인 위치는 감지할 수 있어요.
I'm guessing that's how you found me too. When the passage to the cabin was blocked, I thought we'd gotten separated.
그럴 리가요.
Marius gives you a meaningful look. You find yourself unable to meet his gaze and hastily look away.
보물 찾는 게 특기라고 예전부터 말했잖아요.
Your heart pounds. Afraid he might hear it, you quickly change the subject. I've rested enough. Let's head out now.
네, 날 따라와요.
Is the little monster who called somewhere around here? I think so, but it seems they haven't pinpointed the exact location yet. Let me check what's written in the task. Turn north 3 times under the tallest tree in the southwest of the delusional forest and then look at the first tree on your right. If you don't see the tree, nothing happened. I suggest heading back to the city. And there's also, please help me, it's urgent. What's with the strange rules? Is this really the task you were assigned? It's definitely the task posted above, but what's with this description? Oh well, let's just follow the description and check it out. No matter what awaits us, I'll keep you safe. Alright, I'll be counting on you then. Don't worry, leave it to me. Delusional Forest. Entering a new area, finding the right path remains a challenge. Fortunately, shortly after arriving, you spot a little monster who seems very easy to get along with. Hello? The little spirit lifts her head, her bright eyes looking at you curiously. Excuse me, do you know where I might find the exit in this area? The little spirit sees nothing but points with her tiny paw. Looking in the direction she is pointing, you notice that there seems to be less engulfing breath in that area. That way, thank you. Yep. The little spirit gives you a sweet smile before lowering her head and continuing to munch on some cookies. Delusional Forest. While walking beside you, Marius suddenly stumbles and falls to his knees, unable to hold himself up. Marius, are you okay? You quickly turn him over and are horrified to see deep corroded wounds spread across his body. Is this possible? The corrosion runs so deep. It's okay, don't panic, it's not that bad. As if to comfort you, Marius weakly lifts his hand to cover his wound. Let's get going first. We need to take care of this matter. No, you can't continue like this. Wait, let me heal you. No, you've already used too much of your bluebird power. If you waste any more on me... What are you saying? 7 you can never be a waste. The wound is horrifying to look at. You place your palm over it, trembling involuntarily. But this is the only way you can save him. I must save him. I must save Marius.
괜찮아요. 난 누나랑 더 많은 곳에 가고 싶거든요. 괜찮아요. 걱정하지 마요. 작은 상처일 뿐이에요. 누나, 포기하지 않아줘서 고마워요.
After barely dispersing all the engulfing breath within sight, Marius' condition finally stabilizes. Though he still looks a bit weak, he lifts his head and manages a smile. Sorry for troubling you. You must have used up quite a bit of energy trying to save me. Don't see that. An indescribable feeling wells up in your chest. You instinctively lean forward and grab his collar. How could I not save you? I can't just leave you here. If you were in my shoes, I'm sure you would do the same thing, wouldn't you? Yeah, that's true. He reaches out his hand, his palm overlapping with yours. It's not exactly warm, but it brings a gentle warmth to your trembling fingers. Come here. You feel strength in your palm as the two of you help each other to your feet. When he looks into the distance, Mary's gaze is firm, yet tinged with a gentle softness. Now it's time to settle this once and for all. We'll face the results together, won't we? Of course, that was decided from the very beginning. You exchange smiles as Marius leans in a little closer. Then let's go. Yeah. You walk side by side, heading toward the answer you've been searching for all this time. You follow Marius through the winding tunnels until you finally reach the exit. Marius reaches out and pulls you out of the cave. The delusional forest? A dense forest stretches out before you. The heavy engulfing breath blocks out all sunlight, and the path ahead is shrouded in darkness. I didn't expect the beast cave to connect here. Now we're in trouble.
누구지?
Shadowy figures flash through the forest, more monsters who are under the Shui's control. The engulfing breath here is too thick. The Shui probably wants to wear us down. Let's finish this quickly. You use the power of the bluebird to dispel the surrounding engulfing breath. Marius gives a slight nod and charges at the monsters.
다 해결했으니 가죠.
After contacting the Omni-Spirits burrow and leaving a mark, you and Marius head deeper in. The Crimson Jade Pearl remains within Marius' sensing range, but instead of rushing ahead, he leads you to a hidden spot.
지금 지은수가 얼마나 많은 요괴를 조종하고 있을진 모르겠지만 가만히 있진 않을 거예요. 가는 길에 분명 함정이 있을 테고요.
I also sent a request for backup when I contacted the bureau earlier. Marius solemnly shakes his head, silently cutting you off.
너무 늦어요.
He raises his right hand, holds up two fingers, and draws them across his left palm. Blood flows from the thin wound. The dried blood from the injury is covered once again, dark red layering over fresh crimson. Marius, what are you doing? Your heart feels like it takes a hard hit. Before you realize it, you're tearing off a piece of cloth and holding his hand, trying to rub the wound.
잠깐만요.
Marius pats the back of your hand, signaling you to relax. He removes his ring and lets all the blood drip into it. The ring drinks in the blood. The once bright ruby now glows pitch black, drawing out the deepest desires within the heart.
보지 마요.
Marius clutches the ring tightly. You snap out of your daze and see him throw it into the distance.
이제 지은수가 나타나길 기다리기만 하면 돼요.
What exactly is this?
눈치챘겠지만 지은수는 너무 많은 요괴를 조종해서 몸이 거의 한계에 다다랐어요. 파랑새처럼 요력을 선물하고자 하는 요괴는 매우 드물거든요. 그만큼 누나의 힘은 특별하고 소중해요. 그렇지만 다른 사람들은 그런 운이 없죠.
That seems to stir some memory within him. Marius gives a faint, sorrowful smile.
어떤 방식이든 간에 인간이 요력을 사용하려면 대가를 치러야 해요. 단지 그 대가가 크고 작은 차이일 뿐이죠.
What was the price you had to pay? The Von Hagen auction house is renowned in Hatsu City, and although the Von Hagen family is mysterious, they are an extremely prestigious clan. Among the many rumors about the Von Hagens, you've caught wind of their history here and there. Currently, the auction house is run by Marius' brother, Jan Von Hagen. The two share a strong bond, never marred by conflict. If there's any misfortune, is that their father, Austin Von Hagen, the former head of the house, passed away years ago. Marius stays silent, staring at the ring in the distance. After a long pause, he suddenly turns towards you.
맞춰봐요.
Marius Von Hagen?
나 걱정한 거예요?
After everything we've been through together, we're friends, aren't we? Of course, I'd be worried about my friend.
친구라고요?
Marius looks disappointed by your response. You feel uneasy under his gaze and are just about to change the subject when he gently bumps your shoulder.
좋아요. 더는 안 놀릴 테니까 본론으로 돌아갈까요?
Thanks to this brief interlude, you feel a bit more at ease.
아까 유씨 가문과 도철의 거래에 대가가 있었냐고 했는데 당연히 있었어요. 우리가 도철을 어떻게 조종하고 있는지 알아요?
This kind of secret shouldn't be known by outsiders, but when you think of that ring, something stirs in your chest. Is that your blood?
맞아요. 유씨 가문은 특별한 혈통을 가져서 피를 제물로 삼아야만 도철의 힘을 얻을 수 있었어요. 지금 저 반지는 도철의 힘이 스며들어서 세상에서 손꼽는 보물이 돼버렸어요. 지은수가 절대 그냥 넘길 리 없죠.
But given the current situation, the Shui probably wouldn't take that risk. Marius lets out a low, confident hum.
요괴의 힘이 너무 강해서 이미 스스로의 몸을 제어하지 못할 수도 있어요. 올지 말지 마음대로 결정할 수 있는 게 아니에요.
As soon as he says that, a rustling sound rises from the forest. The Shui steps out from the shadows. He has already lost control and is now under the influence of the engulfing breath. He is beginning to transform into a demon. The Shui doesn't notice you at all. He is drawn to the ring and walks straight toward it. The Shui is reaching his limit. Once he fully transforms into a demon, no one would be able to rescue those monsters he forced into contracts. For now, our only option is to use the power of the blue bird to purify the engulfing breath around him and restore his sanity.
좋아요. 내가 지은수를 막을게요.
The Shui lifts his hand, but just as he touches the ring, the crimson jet pearl he holds shoots out and is absorbed by the ruby. The gem shoots out countless crimson threads, tightly ensnaring the Shui. The Shui struggles with all his might, but the threads only bind him tighter, completely restricting his movement. You rush forward and seize the moment to disperse all the engulfing breath.
너희들 이건 놔!
지은수, 널 구속하는 건 다름 아님 바로 홍옥주야. 그걸로 많은 요괴를 해쳤잖아. 너 혼자선 절대 못 벗어나는 거 알고 있지?
The Shui, you have already demonized. If you give up the contracts now, there is still a way out.
포기하라고? 내가 왜? 난 절대로
The Shui's face violently, fusing with the blood threads into a massive, airy shadow, a gaping maw trying to devour both you and Marius.
유씨 가문은 도철의 힘을 빌려서 온갖 금은보화를 끌어모았지. 난 따라했을 뿐인데 뭐가 잘못이란 거야?
With a forceful swing of his right arm, the Shui breaks free from the threads. He drags his heavy body forward step by step.
너희가 날 이렇게 몰아붙이지만 않았어도 지금처럼 인간도 요괴도 아닌 신세가 되진 않았을 텐데.
Push you into a corner. Besides slaughtering innocent demons, you use Tao Shu's disappearance as an excuse to lure Marius into this. Wasn't that just to get rid of him?
유씨 가문은 애초에 존재하지 말아야 했어!
With a thunderous crash, the Shui completely breaks free and charges towards you, roaring in fury.
이리 와요!
Marius pulls you into his arms. The surroundings fall into an unexpected calm. When you look up, you see the blood threads restraining the Shui once more. Blood gushes from Marius' palm, a clear indication that he is invoking the power of the Tao Tie. Perhaps this power is too taxing for Marius' brows knit tightly, seemingly struggling under the strain. Marius, let me go.
나 때문에 여기 온 건데 당연히 누나를 지켜야죠.
You break away from his arms. Marius looks at you in surprise, reaching out to grab you, only to rush the edge of your clothes. I won't let you face this alone.
누나!
The power of the bluebird flows along the blood threads into the Shui. Blood and red glow together, lighting the forest with unprecedented colors. You faintly feel as if you are about to fall into another world, but if Marius is the person you are standing next to... The Shui howls in pain, his cries echoing through the forest. The demonic energy swells as if on the verge of explosion, and contracts starts rapidly appearing in the air.
지금이에요!
You and Marius strike at the contracts at the same time. With a thud, they dissolve into black specks of light, slowly fading until they vanish into the delusional forest. The Shui collapses to the ground. The demonic transformation halts and the area returns to calm.
내가 졌어. 날 죽여.
Marius walks up to the Shui. The still bleeding wound on his palm looks serious, but he pays it no mind.
우린 널 죽이지 않아. 그건 말년국에서 결정할 거고 대가를 꼭 치르게 되겠지. 네가 그토록 원했던 건 모두 물거품이 되어서 평생 쫓아도 못 가지게 될 거야.
Von Hagen Auction House. It's been so long, but your injury doesn't seem to be getting any better at all. At the auction house, you have Marius change his bandages. Nearly a month has passed since the Shui was captured. Those demons have regained their senses and even Dao Shu has resumed work, but Marius' injury still hasn't healed.
누나, 걱정돼요?
Stop joking around. The doctor said that you could have lost your hand if the wound had been any deeper.
상처는 서서히 나아질 거예요. 조금만 더 쉬면 괜찮아지겠죠. 오늘은 일부러 날 보러 온 거예요?
You finish bandaging his hand and nod. Of course, I'll come visit you often until you're fully recovered. Alright, the Shui's case hasn't concluded yet. Since the Crimson Jade Pearl is a crucial piece of evidence, I won't be able to return it to you for a while.
그냥 구슬인데요. 뭘. 급할 거 없어요.
I never imagined human greed could lead to such devastating consequences.
욕망을 제어하지 않으면 나쁜 결과를 낳게 되죠. 도철은 사람의 욕망을 쉽게 흔들어 놓는 존재라서 유씨 가문 선조들이 피를 먹이 삼아 그 힘을 억제해 온 거예요.
Marius stays quiet for a moment. He must have seen many cases like this since inheriting the Taoti's power. The Shui isn't the first, and he surely won't be the last. But the next moment, Marius returns to his usual self and gives your arm a light tap.
이제 다 끝났으니까 그 생각은 이제 하지 말아요. 고생했으니 이제 좀 쉬어야죠.
Relax, what would you like to do? I'll accompany you.
잘 됐네요. 우리 경매장에 최근 보물이 많이 들어왔거든요. 자, 같이 가서 볼까요?
Marius gets up and leads you upstairs toward the storage vault.
우리 유씨 가문의 창고에 들어올 기회는 흔치 않으니까 어서 따라와요.
A long staircase leads to a place of immense value. Sunlight pours down from above, so bright it almost blinds you. You watch Marius' shadow stretch across the steps. He turns back and smiles at you. You quicken your pace to catch up and walk beside him. There's something more precious there, more valuable than the entire warehouse, the auction house, and even the whole world combined.